Is this developer spreading lies about Xbox? Are there too many Xbox controllers? Are old Xbox games going extinct? Let's discuss. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. I'm back here with another news update for you guys that want to stay in the know, that want to stay Xbox ready. But yeah, while I do mostly new stuff on this channel, I'm trying to branch out into some different content. Last week, I did a whole video about the percentage of games on Game Pass that are critically actually good, and I hope to do a lot more stuff like that going into the future. So if you're a fan of Xbox and you want to check out any of that stuff, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Also, as a reminder, if you're looking to buy any new Xbox stuff, whether it's a new controller or anything like that, I have links down below this video. If you use those links, it goes a long way in helping out the channel. And I'm also at State of Ray on Instagram and Threads as well. I'd appreciate a follow there. So this story was kind of making the rounds last week, and I kind of avoided talking about this specific subject because it's bordering on console war territory. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, y'all know I don't really rock with the console wars like that. It's just not my thing. I don't do this whole like Xbot versus Pony. At the end of the day, just don't really care. Which might be a funny thing to hear from me because I have an Xbox fan channel. But at the end of the day, if you prefer playing on PlayStation for whatever reason, it doesn't affect me at all. I just don't care. I even own a PlayStation myself. But it seems that last week the console wars got some new fuel to add to the fire when the developers behind upcoming FPS, Quantum Error, took to Twitter and basically said, hey guys, basically the Xbox version of our game is going to be delayed because the SSD is trash compared to PlayStation 5. They didn't really say it was trash, they said it was much slower than the SSD that you would find in a PlayStation 5. And I'm worried that these comments could be misconstrued as like console warring and open themselves up to unnecessary hate. Quantum Error is an upcoming horror FPS game where this fire breaks out at a quantum research facility, and you play as this fireman sent to go rescue people, but then it just devolves into like crazy monster shooting. And from what I've been reading, this game was supposed to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but then they were like, no, okay, we want more people to play our game, so we're gonna bring it to other platforms like the Xbox, like PC. What started this all is when they said, we have started looking into optimizing the game for Xbox, but it's definitely going to take a bit of time. Unfortunately, Quantum Error has been made to be played with the PlayStation 5's extremely fast SSD. The Xbox SSD is quite a bit slower, and so we are going to have to change things up quite a bit to make up for that difference in speed. And they've tried to walk it back a little bit, but I feel like the cat's already out of the bag. They followed up soon after that saying, we did not say the game does not run or work on the Xbox. The game runs at 60 FPS at the same graphic quality on the Xbox as the PS5. We only pointed out that the SSD on the Xbox is slower. Now, guys, it's no secret, I'm a guy with a camera and a YouTube channel. I am not a video game developer, never worked in development, but there are certain things being said here that make me believe that the development team has not tried everything in terms of optimization when it comes to the Xbox version of Quantum Error. Someone pointed out in the replies that Xbox uses direct storage, which should theoretically solve this issue. And the development team replied, oh yeah, well that could solve our problems. Well, we haven't tried it yet. I feel like that's something that you should try before you sort of trash a platform holder. And yes, even while on paper, technically the Xbox has a slower SSD than a PlayStation 5, that's not even taking into account all of the PCs that are out there, and this game is going to be coming out on PC as well. They're optimizing for PC, but some PCs don't even have a solid state drive. Some of them do, and they're still slower than the Xbox one. But it's not like they came out and they were like, man, the PC version is not going to have certain things and the PlayStation 5. No, they specifically said Xbox, which to me signals as something that's like console war territory. They ended it with this. We want to set the record straight that answering a question honestly was in no way us bashing Xbox for anything. All we did was point out the current issue that we have come across and that we will have to spend more time to fix it. A different platform may require different solutions, nothing wrong with that. But again, in the way that they answered their question, there was no need to bring PlayStation into it, right? If you're having a trouble with the storage, just say that. That's it. Xbox, we're having a trouble with the storage. Done. Or just not say anything at all. But the mistake that they made was saying Xbox is slow, PlayStation is better. Some rumored solutions in order order to get the Xbox version across the finish line is to add loading screens to the Xbox Quantum Error, which at the end of the day, that's not super crazy. It's not a deal breaker to me. Honestly, this game looks interesting, but watching gameplay of this game, to be completely honest, there's nothing that's standing out to me as something where I think, oh, this moment requires a really fast, beefy SSD. I'm not hating on this game, and to be completely honest, it was not on my radar until last week. So if you're out there and you're watching this and for whatever reason you're upset by the developer's comment, I would please ask that you don't just go and dogpile on them. But I would recommend whoever's running that Twitter account that going forward you have a little bit more tact when talking about different platforms and their challenges. But unfortunately, with the way the industry is and the way discourse goes on these social media platforms, this is definitely not going to be the last time where we border into this console war territory and developers are brought into it and subsequently dogpiled on or just hated on and all this back and forth. Not the first time, not going to be the last time, unfortunately. Xbox is no stranger to people coming out and saying like, your hardware sucks. And then inevitably they kind of walk it back and they're like, okay, it didn't suck. We just had to like find a different workaround because we were spending all of our time optimizing for a certain platform and we just need to spend a little bit more time with yours. Another thing Xbox is no stranger to is releasing controllers. In fact, critics of Xbox will point to them and be like, they release more controllers than games. But yes, Xbox is back at it again, perhaps with its craziest controller. Xbox has teamed up with Paramount to help promote the launch of their newest movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. They designed 4 different controllers, one for each of the Ninja Turtles. But the kicker for this controller is that it has a built-in scent diffuser that makes your controller smell like a pizza. What is going on, man? What is going on? Okay, first of all, that's cool. That's kind of cool, but what? Like, how do you distill down pizza, which, as we all know, made of bread, cheese, sauce, pepperoni, other toppings sometimes. Distill that scent into a freaking thing that you then put into this controller, and it smells like pizza. What? It's crazy. Is this as crazy as the furry controllers that came out for that Sonic movie, the one that had red fur for Knuckles and blue for Sonic? I don't know. Me personally, I'd probably have this Ninja Turtle one because at least I could play with the Ninja Turtle controller. I'm not playing with a fuzzy controller, man. But similar to those fuzzy Sonic controllers, you can't buy these pizza smelling controllers that they're coming out with. It's part of a giveaway that they're running through their Twitter account right now. So if you want your chance to win a pizza smelling controller, you can go to the Xbox Game Pass Twitter account right now and just follow the details there. If for whatever reason you do not get a controller that smells like a pizza and is Ninja Turtle themed, lucky for you, there are a lot of other options that you can physically buy for yourself. No competition required. I've talked about these on the channel before, but there's a controller called the Hyperkin Xenon, which is a throwback 360 controller that you can use with your Xbox Series X or S. And for the Xbox Summer Collection, they came out with special designs, one called Cosmic Night and one called Twilight Galaxy. These were available only for pre-order for a couple of weeks, but now they're officially released. They'll run you about $50. It is a wired controller, so again, I know that's going to turn a lot of people off, but if you don't mind it personally, I feel like that'd be a pretty cool thing to get this summer if you're an Xbox fan. Also, don't forget about the Starfield controller. That thing is really cool looking. Haven't gotten mine yet. It's apparently still on the way, but personally, I think that controller is really clean, especially because all of the nods to Starfield are pretty subtle. And if none of those controllers sound particularly interesting to you, there's apparently another design on the way sometime in the beginning of August, according to a certain leaker. This guy Bill Kuhn on Twitter, who has leaked some stuff in the past when it comes to different controller designs, says that this controller is going to be called the Stormcloud Vapor controller. So again, if none of those past controllers I was talking about sound interesting to you, maybe wait to see if the Stormcloud Vapor one is something that you might enjoy. Eventually, you might be like me with the Tower of Power right behind me with all my controllers lined up for everyone to see. In terms of other stuff coming to your Xbox this summer, 1,400 retro games have been added to your console, sort of, thanks to Phil Spencer. We talked about this a little bit last week, but Antstream Arcade is officially out on Xbox consoles. It's an app that you can run on your Xbox Series X, S, or even your Xbox One that apparently has a library of over 1,400 retro games. The full list of games stands at 1,470, and according to VGC, there's 200 plus Amiga games, nearly 300 arcade games, 350 C64 games, 50 plus Mega Drive games, 40 plus Super Nintendo games, and 350 ZX Spectrum games. Apparently there are games like the OG Mortal Kombat, Space Invaders, real old school stuff. And apparently you can also play a number of PlayStation 1 games through Antstream as well. The studio head behind Antstream credited his past relationship with Phil Spencer for being able to bring this service to Xbox consoles. I got in touch with Phil Spencer, I had a meeting with him, and he loves games preservation. He talks about it a lot, but when you see him and you're one-on-one with him, he's extremely passionate about it, and he essentially gave us the go-ahead to get it working on Xbox. Without the support of Phil and his team, it may never have come over. Now, it doesn't surprise me that Phil Spencer gets really fired up about old school games and preserving them. Just last week, Aaron Greenberg was talking about how he got chills when Phil Spencer came out and announced backwards compatibility was coming to Xbox One consoles. And they've certainly done a great job making sure that older Xbox titles are playable on modern day consoles. This probably won't impress the people that are out there saying like, oh, Xbox is nothing but old games, Game Pass is nothing but old games. I gotta say, yeah, these are like the oldest games that you can get, right? Video games, I mean. But something kind of shocked me when I was reading through this story, and I can't remember if it was VGC or another media outlet that was referencing a statistic saying that 87% of games made before 2010 are not commercially available. Like, you can't get your hands on them. And I thought that was just insane. Like, what? What are you talking? 87% of games before 2010? 2010 doesn't seem that long ago. But apparently this is based on data from an organization called the Video Game History Foundation. Phil Salvador, the library director, appeared on NPR not too long ago, and through his research he found that only 13% of games pre-2010 are available commercially for you to play. In this interview, he was saying, yeah, there's this game that I used to love playing as a kid. It was called Illusion of Gaia. And he was saying that the only way to play that game and relive those memories is if he buys like a really expensive antique copy secondhand or goes online and pirates it. He goes on in this interview saying like, yeah, I mean, basically if it's not a popular game, if it doesn't sell very well, it's probably not going to be preserved. And that got me thinking, man, I'm like, whoa, that is crazy. Got me thinking about mortality and stuff, and I should be thinking about just like, I don't know, playing video games. Like, how many games did we play as kids that are just like gone? Poof, extinct. Probably a lot of them, and honestly, it kind of made me think twice about this whole discourse surrounding digital versus physical games. Oh, digital games can disappear at any moment. If physical games are disappearing, then yeah, for sure, digital games could definitely just be taken away from us at any time, if we're not careful. Long story short, I think Antstream Arcade is a really cool thing to have on our Xbox consoles. You do have to pay for it, either a yearly fee or just a straight buyout of I think like $70, $80. But for those of you who are interested in retro games on your Xbox console, and you don't want to have to go through the trouble of putting your console into dev mode and running emulators off of it, this is a great solution. And again, it's great for game preservation. So big shout out to the team at Antstream, and big shout out to Phil Spencer, I guess, who was instrumental in making Antstream available on Xbox consoles. Anyways, guys, that's all the news I have for today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and we'll see you in the next video.